Right, welcome back. Today we are going to do a species focused episode. So we're going to talk all about a really special fish in the African cichlid world, one that's going to add a lot of colour to your tank. So today's all about the Fusco Hap. Right, so I've been wanting to do this video for a little while because this fish is slowly moving up my ratings on when it comes to African cichlids and haps. Now, the Fusco Hap, also known as the Nimbochromis fuscutaneus, is a predatory hap. It grows quite big, so they grow quick as well, and it's actually part of the same family as your Livingstone and your Venustus. So they're ambush predators, and they have that same behaviour as these other two fish, where they can play dead on the sandbed. So they act like a dead fish. They wait for smaller ones to come over and nibble at them, and then bang, they'll smash up, swallow them, fish is gone, bye bye. I've never seen them actually do that in a fish tank when I've had Livingstones, Venustus, the Fuscos. So I've never seen that behaviour happen in the tank where they've been on the floor playing dead. I think it's probably something that is native to their wild behaviour. However, this is still a very predatory fish, and in my opinion, and from my experience, is one of the most predatory out of all of the haps. Now, I've had two of these in this tank. I've had a couple in the past as well. The two that are in this tank, whenever I've put smaller fish in here, I can see them weighing the fish up. So they'll go swim straight over to the fish, and I can see the mouth opening, and they're weighing up if it's big enough to fit inside the mouth. I had it with the yellow lepturus when I was introducing that into the tank. It wasn't quite big enough, and these fish, as soon as I put it in, it was like where the scene out of Finding Nemo when the shark smells the blood.
Ooh, that's good.
And they instantly just darted over to the lepturus. They were weighing it up with the mouths. It wasn't big enough for them to swallow, but they were still gauging it, and they still wanted to take it down. So be really careful with this fish. If you are going to introduce it into a system, make sure that you've got relatively big fish in there, if not fish that are roughly the same size. Something else to bear in mind is the growth rate. These Fuscos, they grow so quick. So this one that I've got in here is one of the biggest fish in the tank. Now, I introduced him when he was about 3-4 inches, and a lot of these fish that are in here were bigger than him, and now he's one of the biggest ones. So he's grown exponentially over the last few months. I've noticed his growth rate has gone up since my other one died. So I did have a bigger one in here, which the Malawi eye biter did kill when I reintroduced it into the tank. So since that one has died, this one has really coloured up. You can see all the coloration on him, and he's really grown in girth, length, the lot. He's a beast now. So what I love about these fish is they get big. Now, when I say big, you're talking 25 to 30 centimetres for a male, anywhere from 20 to 25 centimetres for a female. So because of that, what you want to do is make sure that you've got a big tank. My recommendation for these fish is, if you haven't got a tank that's at least 6 foot, do not buy one, because they grow so quick and they get massive. They are pretty aggressive fish as well, and obviously they've got them predatory tendencies. So space is important. When it comes to the layout of the tank, you want to keep it, quite minimal, not a rock wall like you would with mboonas, similar to peacocks. Lots of floor space, lots of open water swimming space, and then, some small rock sculptures in the tank where they can break line of sight with other fish, or usually with this fish, other fish can break line of sight with them. So keep it simple. Don't overdo it with decorations and wood and rocks and things like that. Make sure there's enough space for them to swim around, turn around in the tank and stuff. When it comes to coloration, you'll see that these have a similar body pattern to the Livingstone and the Venustus, because they are from the same family. So they've got this like checkered pattern on them, but when you've got a male fish, once that colour starts to come in, you'll see that checkered pattern sort of slowly start to fade away as they colour up and get that breeding dress. And you get these bright blues and these reddish brown tinges along the fish. They are absolutely stunning when they colour up. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's the fish in general, every single time I've had one of these fish, they have been exploding with colour. So they've never let me down. I've never had one that's coloured down. Like you can see my Livingstone in this tank hasn't got the greatest coloration. I don't mind all that much because you still get a lot out of the pattern on the Livingstone anyway. It's a natural body pattern. So when they don't colour up, it's not so much of a big deal. But these never fail. They colour up every time I get them. So that's why I love them so much. They're a guaranteed colour pop inside of your tank. As far as aggression goes, as long as you don't let them be the biggest, most dominant fish in the tank, they're relatively peaceful. So I've got quite a lot of large haps in this system, which offer a little bit of competition to the Fusco. So it sort of keeps him at bay a little bit. If you had just one with a load of peacocks, you're probably going to have a little bit of a problem. But if you've got a nice variety of haps, there's some that might be a little bit bigger, some the same size, same sort of temperament, you shouldn't have any issues with this fish. When it comes to substrate, sand substrate, nothing too thick, not gravel, keep it nice and fine. I always go for a darker substrate when I keep haps. The reason being is the colours just show so much better on the fish when you use a darker substrate. Yeah, the aragonite sand and stuff, it does give you that pH buffering, but you can still get it in media bags and stuff and chuck them in your canister or in your sump. Dark substrate, for me, is the best choice when it comes to haplochromuses because you get a better colour pop from them as well. When it comes to water parameters, obviously this fish is native to Lake Malawi, so you want to replicate all the same water parameters there. You want your pH anywhere from 7.6 to 8.4, tank temperature 24 to 28 degrees usually. Anything higher, I find can, if you start getting up to 30 degrees, which my tank does get to in the summer at times, then what I found is these fish start getting aggressive, more aggressive than they usually do. That's not just the Fusco, that's for the peacocks, the haps. The temperature gets too high, you start getting fights and you get a lot of activity in your tank, which obviously you don't want. When it comes to diet, what you want to be feeding Fusco haps is a very high protein food. So high protein pellets, frozen shrimp, krill, even when they get a little bit bigger, so when they get to that full size and maturity, chopped prawns and things like that, they need a protein-based diet. They are predatory, so whatever you feed them, make sure it's high in protein. Try and get some frozen bits in there as well, and then you're going to get the best out of the fish. When it comes to tank mates, the ideal scenario is to have them just with large predatory haps. So things like Rostratus, your VC10s, Venustus, Livingstones, Malawi eye biters, anything that grows large and predatory, those are the ideal tank mates for these fish. You can get away with peacock cichlids like I am here and have no issues, but for maximum success, you want to keep them in a hap only display. I find with the peacock cichlids, as long as the peacock cichlids are big, and I'm talking a mature size like mine are, you can get away with it. Or if if your Fusco is small and your peacocks are at the same sort of size, then yeah. But bear in mind, they will grow a lot quicker than your peacocks will. Do not put any weak, small fish inside the tank. Anything small that goes in with this fish is going to get barbecued. So it's not going to last very long at all. This fish probably has the biggest mouth I've seen out of, your Lake Malawi haps, ones that you get in fish shops. It has an enormous mouth. So it doesn't look like much when you look at it, but when you see it you know, yawning in the tank or anything like that. I get concerned for some of the peacocks that are already in here, to be honest, because it really does open up like a black hole. So you can see why they're such devastating predators. Obviously, another thing to remember is do not get one of these if you've got a small tank. If you do, make sure that you are planning on increasing the size of your tank. It is not a good fish unless you've got a big system because of the size they grow to, and that pretty much goes for a lot of predatory haps as well, because they all get to relatively big sizes. So bear that in mind if you're thinking about getting this fish. Right, so to conclude, the Fusco Hap, definitely in my top 10 of African cichlids now. I've had great experiences with this fish. Yeah, they do have special requirements, and yeah, you do need a big tank. But if you have got that, then definitely consider getting one of these in your tank, because they have a guaranteed colour pop. And even if you don't get that colour pop, they still have this intricate checkered pattern, which is still really aesthetically pleasing in your tank. If you give them some time, they will flourish and they will get that bright blue hue on the body. This one I've got in this tank here wasn't all that until the more dominant Fusco left, and now look at him. As soon as he's got that space to grow, he's absolutely blew up with colours and patterns and metallic hues. He looks incredible, and he's one of the show-stopping fish that are in my tank. So Fusco Hap, if it's something you're considering, you've got the right tank size, go for it.